Hey guys, really excited because today I'm releasing my brand new masterclass. I just recorded it, and in it, you're gonna learn the 5 biggest mistakes you're making when trying to lose weight and the simple 5-step system that my clients over 40 are using to burn fat, get lean, and to do that without giving up the lifestyle they've worked so hard to create. There's no need to give up your favorite foods. There's no need to spend all your time in the gym. So if you're tired of time-consuming workouts, restrictive diets, and years of trial and error, for most of the people that I talk to, they've been trying for years. If that's you, you wanna listen to this training, get ready to take some notes, and most importantly, apply what you learn. All right, let's get to the masterclass. What's up, my friend? Welcome to the Body Breakthrough Masterclass. Today, you're going to learn the 5 shifts to transforming your health and body 3 times faster than traditional programs. I'm so excited to bring you this information, but at the same time, I want to skip the small talk and jump right in to actionable information. So with your permission, let's get rolling. And the first thing I want to cover is who this is for. Because if you don't resonate with, you can click off this presentation and get on with your life. However, if you're a woman and you've been prioritizing other areas of your life over your health, and you're now looking to get your health under control, and you want to build a strong, thinner, and leaner body, this is quite possibly the most important masterclass you're ever going to watch. So if you're an A player, you believe in yourself, but you don't have the body you deserve yet, if that's you, you're in the right place. Because in the next 45 minutes, you're going to learn how to lose 20 to 30 pounds of unwanted body fat and keep it off without doing detoxes, cleanses, intermittent fasting, keto, or any of those quick fixes that just don't work long term. You're going to learn how you can go from being out of shape to being in the best shape of your life in your 40s and 50s while growing your career, being a great mom, and keeping the spark alive in your relationship. How to get your lean, sexy body, even if you're tired of being a superwoman and feeling hopeless that you'll ever be able to have it all. Yes, you can really do this. I'm going to show you how. You'll learn how to get a flat, sexy tummy in the next 6 months, even if you've never been that lean in your life and feel like your metabolism, your age, your hormones are preventing you from losing weight. How to finally get out of your own way and take action, even if that little gremlin voice inside your head keeps sabotaging you. And how to do all of this without any gimmicks, cutting carbs, giving up your favorite foods, and endless hours of exercise. My promise to you is that you're going to learn a powerful formula, one that's used by celebrity trainers and elite athletes to reduce stress, reclaim your health, and completely transform your body 3 times faster than conventional methods, all while still enjoying your life and the foods that you love. So let's talk about what this is not. This isn't a magic pill. You and I, we're old enough to know that doesn't exist. However, it can work like one if you put it into action and take consistent action towards following through on what you're going to learn today. Also, this isn't a work harder strategy. It's a work smarter strategy. You and I both know that if you want to take your income from 6 to 7 figures or 7 to 8 figures, you're not going to just work more hours or post more on social media. You need to leverage smart strategies. So that's what we're going to work on here. Also, synergy is your friend. We're going to go over several strategies, powerful strategies, but it's a combination of all of them that really create the magic here. It's not any single one strategy. Also, because people don't take responsibility for themselves, I got to say this. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to treat, diagnose, or any disease or replace your doctor's advice. So if you've got something going on with your health, make sure you check with your doctor before following through on what I tell you today. Also, there's nothing for sale in this masterclass. There's not going to be a button that pops up where you got to put your credit card information, nothing like that. However, I do have a cool invitation for you at the end if you resonate with what I share with you today. So let me ask you, does this sound like you? Are you always juggling between your career and family in the hopes that one day you can be consistent with your health and fitness, but that day it just never seems to come and you keep having to choose between your health and other priorities? Do you turn down invitations to social gatherings like reunions, outdoor activities, and more because you don't feel confident in your own skin? And is this affecting your kids' activities as well? Do you lie next to your partner, but you're too exhausted to rekindle the passion you used to feel and you know it's slipping further away? Or are you maybe single and or divorced and refuse to go out with anyone because you're so unhappy and embarrassed by the way you look? Do you see other women your age with an amazing body, full of energy, crushing it in life, and you have no idea how they're doing it? And if your answer to this is no, I'm going to introduce you to some incredible women today in this masterclass. And have you tried beach body workouts, bar classes, Orange Theory, Barry's Boot Camp cleanses, Weight Watchers, the HCG diet, South Beach diet? Oh my gosh, so many and more, yet you still didn't see the results you wanted. And do you feel like you eat whenever you're stressed, anxious, frustrated, or bored, and you want to change your relationship with food for the better? And do you secretly fear that you'll never get your body to look the way you want because maybe you're too old, or maybe your metabolism is too slow, or perhaps your genes aren't that great, or your hormones are out of whack, or even just because you want to enjoy the lifestyle that you work so hard to create, and it just seems that looking lean and sexy and enjoying life just doesn't go together? Well, I've got some great news for you. None of these are the problem here. The real problem is that you haven't made what I call the shifts. And once you make these shifts, every week, all that unwanted body fat you've been trying to get rid of for years will melt off your body faster than you thought possible. You'll go to the gym and know exactly what to do to create and maintain your dream body. No more confusion about what workout to do. From breakfast to dinner, you'll know exactly which foods to eat and how much to eat for your body type and lifestyle. And you'll do all of this while developing self-awareness about you, your choices, and your habits at a really deep level. So you'll finally understand how to navigate through social gatherings, holidays, business trips, challenging times, and never get stuck again when life gets hectic. That's where most of my clients, that's why most of them come to me, is they get thrown off. They can sit at home and eat perfectly, but whenever they have to go enjoy their life and socialize, that's when things get hard. I've even worked with people who said, no, I don't even go out because I know I'm going to gain a few pounds. We can end that for good. Also, you'll wake up full of energy and actually enjoy getting dressed in the morning because you look and feel great. And you'll walk into that office radiating confidence, and every woman will wonder what your secret is. Now, look, I know I'm making some strong claims here, and you're skeptical. That's a good thing. There's a lot of terrible information online. I know because I've been in this business for a long time. And the things that I want to share about you, I'm just going to share a few things about myself, just so you know where I'm coming from. But the first thing I want to share with you is I'm not an internet marketer. I don't have a degree in marketing or PR or business, none of that. I got a degree in biology and was on my way to medical school before I decided that giving people drugs and surgery to fix their lifestyle wasn't it was sick care, not health care. And I didn't want to be a part of it. So I got into the health and fitness industry. I've been working with hundreds of women from all ages and backgrounds, in person and online, for the past 21 years. So again, I'm not a marketer. In fact, you're going to hear me throughout this presentation. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to bumble and jumble my words. Look, I'm an expert at what I do, but I'm not here. I'm not Mr. Super Polished, studying marketing and really focused on the delivery. I'm here doing my best, but what I'm really passionate and excited about is helping people change their life. And I've worked with celebrities like Robert Downey Jr. when he was getting ready for his first Iron Man movie. I've worked with Sir Richard Branson. He called me a fit bastard. I helped Ricky Martin get ready for one of his tours, and dozens of CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies from around the world, from when I started as a personal trainer in Miami all the way up until now. And my specialty is creating systems that make losing fat and building a lean, athletic body simple and easy to fit into your lifestyle. And in the process of learning how to do this, I've guided hundreds of women to their dream body so they can finally feel great at the beach or pool, have more energy, exude confidence. And really what we're talking about here is having that feeling that you're really enjoying life, like you're living the life that you're meant to live, like you're doing your best. That is what really excites me. Yes, it's nice to see lean muscle and definition in your body, but it's really about the way you show up when you've got this dialed in. It's just so powerful to see. That said, discovering the 5 shifts, it didn't just come to me easy. In fact, you may have looked at my photo and said, oh man, this guy, he's probably just always been in shape. There's a little bit of truth to that, but I was in great shape in my 20s and I was exercising all the time. I was eating a low carb diet, a strict low carb diet. Of course, I was drinking a lot in my 20s too, so wasn't so strict in that way, but I was lean. So I thought, man, I have this all dialed in and look at my results. And everybody wanted to work with me because of the way I looked. And then I got in my 30s and I knew I couldn't spend so much time exercising. In fact, it was kind of beating me down. My stress was high. I knew I needed to focus on my business. So that's what I did. But in the transition there, I ended up getting fat. Now, you may look at this and say, oh, Ted, you're not fat. Like I've seen people way worse. But here's the thing. First thing I would say is the standards in our society are extremely warped. What is overweight? What is too much fat? It's extremely warped because the reality is I was 24% body fat in this photo and I'm flexing my abs as hard as I can. And yeah, you can almost kind of see something there, but I was 24% body fat. That's 1% shy of being obese for a man. It's different for a woman. And I was pre-diabetic. That is not okay. That is, you get a diabetes diagnosis and have to have parts of you amputated. You have to take special medication. That's not okay to live that way. It's 100% preventable. But there I was with pre-diabetic blood sugar levels. And I got really worried and I started to wonder, maybe it was all that partying in my 20s, because not only did I train the celebrities and the CEOs, but I also trained club owners and restaurant owners, kind of local celebrities in Miami Beach. And I used to go out all the time. And I thought maybe I hurt my metabolism doing all that. Maybe I partied just a little too hard, not just with alcohol, but some of the other things that I did. And then I said, maybe it's my hormones. Maybe my hormones are shot. I even got a hormone test and it showed that my estrogen levels were too high. Not good if you're a guy. And after all the excuses and going down some weird rabbit holes, I finally decided, you know what, there's got to be something going on here. I was around 37 when I took this photo. There's got to be something that I'm missing here. Maybe I don't know it all. Maybe there's something that maybe my low carb diet and the heavy weightlifting and the high intensity interval training and this, not buying fruit, all those things I'm doing, maybe it's not the right approach. I know, right? It's like, well, and then I changed, and this is me now. Okay. I'm in my 40s now. I'm lean. I look great. I feel great. And I don't have any of the problems that I had when I was in my 30s, my mid 30s. And I started in my mid 30s. I don't have any of those problems anymore. And here's what I'll tell you. What I learned is this: there are 5 simple shifts to unlocking the body of your dreams. And if you just do these 5 things, you'll finally get into the shape you've always wanted to be in, maintain that shape while experiencing more energy and vitality than you ever thought possible. And I'm going to walk you through all 5 of them today in this masterclass. And the first one is to escape the quick fix trap. And you may ask yourself, well, what is that? Well, the quick fix trap is at the heart of every piece of mainstream fitness and nutrition advice. Do intermittent fasting, or do keto, or even better, do both, or eliminate or cycle your carbs and work out 5 or 6 times a week in the gym. What if you don't have the time? It doesn't matter. Just do it. What if you feel terrible if you get rid of carbs? Doesn't matter. That's what you need to do for fat loss. Or do cardio on an empty stomach. Well, I hate it doing cardio on an empty stomach. I feel sick when I do that. Doesn't matter. That's what you need to do. Or go on a detox or cleanse for a week, and then you can go back to normal because you have heavy metal toxicity or whatever. And if you didn't reach your fitness goals, if you weren't able to stick with the detox or cleanse or do the fasted cardio or cycle the carbs or the intermittent fasting or keto, which is usually terrible in particular for women, then it's your fault. You didn't have enough discipline or motivation. But here's what I learned. There's one simple question to know if what you're doing is the right approach. Just ask yourself this: can you see yourself doing it for the rest of your life? Because if the answer is no, then it's just not going to work for you. Now, a lot of people feel like they need to do these things because if you don't do them, you can't get results. And so we come up with this belief that, oh, well, if I can't do this, then I'll never be able to get in shape. If I can't do the keto or fast intermittently, I'll never get in shape. And that's not true. What I've learned is that is completely untrue. But we first need to say this: if you're doing something and you know you can't keep it up, it's not right for you. Stop doing it. Don't bother. And you may say, well, what do I do instead? Well, I'm going to share with that with you in the rest of this presentation. But just know, if whatever you're doing right now is not something you can keep up for the rest of your life, then you should stop doing it. Because short-term success and basically that yo-yo diet or the diet binge cycle, it means that you need to force yourself to have enough motivation to follow those strict diets and time-consuming workouts to hit your goal before you run out of willpower. But what I learned is you need a flexible and sustainable system to get long-term results. It needs to be flexible. Look, I'm in Mexico right now. I've traveled. I'd love to travel. It's my thing. Even with COVID going on, I'm still traveling. I've been in Mexico, Brazil, Thailand. I've traveled to so many places in the past 3 years, Bali, places that I've only dreamed about traveling. And when I was there, I ate the food that I wanted to eat. In other words, it was a flexible system. It was based around foundational principles and, more importantly, mastering the skills of applying those principles in my life. Regardless of whether I'm eating tacos and fajitas in Mexico or whether I'm eating pad thai in Thailand, there's a way to make it all work. And if you don't have this flexibility in your nutrition, that is going to be a problem for you whenever you're on vacation or whether you're back with your folks for the holidays and they break out the things that they eat, but you haven't eaten since last time you were at their house. So we need this flexibility. And to show you an example of this is a case study. This is Diane. She's 54, always turning to food to feel better about her life. She was unhappy with her job and with herself. And she was doing intermittent fasting and keto. She said it worked, but it was just so hard to do it, hard to stick with it. And you can see her results on the right there. That's where she was. And it was crushing her confidence, mood, and affected how she felt about herself, her self-worth. She was stuck in this cycle of losing and gaining weight for the past 30 years. So what we did, I taught her how to eat. She fully committed to the program. In just 5 months, she lost 29 pounds of fat, built lean muscle, and dropped her body fat percentage to 24%. I mean, how great does she look? Now, she may not have the body that you want because she's a badass and she competes in these competition. So maybe she doesn't have exactly the body that you want, but the principles are the same. And I'll show you some women who do have the body you want. But just to show you, look, these principles work. And it doesn't matter if you're 54. Just look at the change in her belly. Maybe you don't want your arms to be as jacked as Diane's, but if you want your belly to disappear like Diane's, that is totally 100% doable. So let's get into as I said, I'm going to tell you what to do in case you're one of those people doing something that you know you can't keep up. So shift number 2 is debunking the biggest diet myth. And what is that? Well, first, let's talk about what the experts say. Do a keto diet because you got to eat fat to burn fat. Just eat organic foods because organics and Reese's peanut butter cups are so much better for fat loss than regular. Right? Cut out the carbs because carbs make you fat. Forget about the fact that if you go to Asia, their diets are like 70% carbs and they have way less obesity. Oh, but it's the genes. And oh, you need to eat clean to lose weight. Okay. Yeah, all this stuff. Look, I don't need to read the rest of them. You've heard them all. But what I want to tell you about them, these are tactics. They're not foundational principles. Some of them can work. But if you can't stick with it, then it's not going to work because you're just going to, people say, oh, I just got to get back to intermittent fasting. It works so well for me. Well, why'd you stop? Well, I got lightheaded. I felt terrible. I was real hangry, that mixture of hungry and angry. hungry and angry in the morning. And it just wasn't helping me in the morning when I needed to be sharp for my work or to run my business. I said, well, it didn't work for you, did it? And they're like, well, I guess you're right. Well, look, expert advice, it works because you cut out the carbs, avoid the fats, you don't eat protein, you don't eat fruit, you can't eat anything. And look, of course that's going to work. But the problem is, again, it's not healthy, it's not sustainable. And a lot of this, getting into these crazy rabbit holes of all these different claims about what causes fat gain or fat loss. I mean, it's not healthy psychologically either. And when you get this wrong, you cut out your favorite foods. It only lasts until a vacation, the holidays, or the stress gets too high. Then you give up and gain the weight back and tell yourself it was you who failed, but you knew it was too hard to keep up. However, you feel bad anyway and wait until you're sick of yourself or motivated enough to go on a diet again. And I've seen this cycle go on for years with clients, sometimes even decades with clients. And you feel like you're never going to be able to get it right because you have these things these foods that you enjoy to eat, a lifestyle that you enjoy, and you feel like you just have to do like the polar opposite of that to be healthy and lean. And you feel like there's no way to do them both. However, that's not true. Let's talk about the real reason why we have fat. The real reason why we have fat, besides what you would call essential fat, we all have essential fat. If you had 0% body fat, you would die, and people have in the past, by the way. So the primary purpose of having stored body fat was to get energy in times of food scarcity. It helped our Paleolithic ancestors survive, and probably Neolithic ancestors survive. So when we create an energy deficit and prevent muscle loss, which is key, by the way, this energy must come from burning fat. And so we hear all these things like, oh, do low carb or ketogenic or even low fat. It's less popular these days, but if we were, in the 80s, low fat was super popular. Everybody said, go low fat. And guess what? Everybody was still fat, eating low fat. Intermittent fasting, Weight Watchers, paleo. But look, they all work by reducing calories. And maybe you heard about the calorie thing. Maybe you're like, oh, but I've tried tracking calories and it's just so hard. Well, you're not doing it right. Or I tried reducing calories and I was super hungry. Well, again, you're not doing it right. Or maybe you don't believe in it. Well, hopefully I'm helping to shift you away from that because I was there. I used to be one of those people who didn't believe in this until, I started getting the results that I get. And how it works is that when you create an energy deficit or a calorie deficit, the body has to get the missing energy from somewhere. It's so simple, right? It's hard to put into action in our lives, but it's so simple. And all you got to do, look at people who are, go to Google and Google starving, right? Starvation, and click images. Okay, you'll see people. I mean, it's an extreme example, but I just do that to kind of shock you out of the diet bullshit culture that we're in, where there's all these complicated reasons. It really comes down to this energy deficit. If you got stranded on a deserted island because you fell overboard having too much fun on a cruise, and you ended up on the island, you had to climb coconut trees to get coconuts and bash them open and eat insects for protein, you'd lose some freaking weight regardless of the excuses that you've been using. It's just the truth. Look, if I sound passionate or sound a little obnoxious, I don't mean to. It really hurts me to see people go astray when this is within everyone's reach, and so much misinformation out there has confused so many people, including myself. Anyway, the key isn't just to cut calories, it's to eat the right amount of calories. Because if you eat too little, you're going to be hungry all the time. You're doing it wrong. If you eat too much, you're going to gain weight. That is also doing it wrong. But if you eat the right amount, your metabolism is going to stay higher. You're going to be able to build some muscle, which is extremely important. Even if you don't want to build muscle, believe me, you have a lot less. We all have a lot less muscle than what we think. And we can lose fat, feel good, and get the results that we want. But it's tricky to get this dialed in. It's tricky, a little bit different for everyone. And the foods that help create this are a little bit different for everyone. But here's what you need to know. If you create an energy deficit through combination of diet, lifestyle, and the right amount of exercise, if you eat a sufficient amount of protein to build muscle or at least prevent muscle loss, if you eat the right types of foods that keep you full, boost your energy, improve your overall health, then 20% of the time you can go to the social gatherings, you can eat what you want, try out different foods. You can eat the pad thai if that's what you're into, or the pasta or pizza, or you can have the desserts, whatever it is, the ice cream, key lime pie, whatever it is. You can eat these things and still lose fat. And people say that we can't, but the reality is there's so much. Look, I proved it to myself. You can do this. All right. I'm not saying that, and I want to be clear here. I'm not telling you, hey, go out and eat ice cream. It's healthy. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying that eating junk food or processed food is healthy. What I'm saying is we live in a world where we're just too tempted by these things. And if you have a strong desire to eat stuff like this, then you have to find a way to fit it in to your diet, because if you don't, you end up too strict and then you binge eat. Does that sound familiar? That's what happens. How do we get rid of binge eating? By having enough treats so that we don't feel so deprived, because it's only a matter of time before we give up. This is totally possible, my friend, totally possible. In fact, it's not that it's just possible. I think it's the only way forward. Okay, it's the only way that actually works. Not eating passion fruit ice cream cake, but fitting in your favorite foods, not my favorite foods, your favorite foods. And when you do this, you can change the game for yourself. You can get lean, you can be healthy, you can be healthier than what you were 10 years ago, or maybe even 20 years ago if this has been going on for you for a while. For me, I only got out of shape for in my 30s for I guess half a decade, 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer actually, if I'm honest. But I was able to turn it around, and now I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel like I'm 44. I feel like 24. Maybe not in all ways, but in a lot of ways, in the ways that matter, I feel great. Okay. And this is possible for you as well. So shift number 3, use the secret weapon. Well, what is that? Well, progressive overload training. Ever heard of it? Probably not, because they don't cover it in Shape Magazine, or a lot of people don't talk about it. They want to tell you to do these high intensity interval training workouts or do a bunch of cardio, which we know is not the best way to change a body. The best way is to use progressive overload training. It's the single most important factor for getting massive results from any type of workout or any form of exercise. Okay. And here's the thing. You know why you haven't heard of it? Because it's in exercise physiology textbooks, boring textbooks. That's where this is from. The science is clear on this. Okay. And if you do this, you will get the body you want. But if you do too much cardio, or if you cut your calories, or if you're, lifting the pink weights and not really challenging yourself, you don't end up looking the way you want. And when you get this right, you can look more like, Jennifer Lopez, 50 years old. Sofia Vergara, 47 years old. Look at the muscle in Halle Berry's legs. Look at her butt. Look at her calves. Look at her thighs. That isn't genetics. That's not that. You have to work for that. Okay. You've got to work for it. 53 years old. Okay. Now she looks incredible, right? I mean, her face and the wrinkles and everything. Look, they all look incredible, in fact. But the point is this: you can create the muscle and lose the fat to look more like this. And these women, they've done it. This is what celebrities do, okay? Is what I'm sharing with you here. How do they get that body? By doing what I'm telling you here. And so how does it work, this overload training? Well, look at each of those arrows. Those are all workouts. And they could be high intensity interval workouts. They could be lifting weights, although, by the way, lifting weights is the best thing to do. I believe that women should lift weights a little bit different. They should focus on different exercises than men. We don't have time to get into that today, but know this: the exercise just targets the muscle, but how we do the exercise over time really matters. So let's say we're doing a workout, and are you tired? Or do you feel great after work? Or are you stronger after workout, or do you need to recover? We all need to recover after hard workout, right? That's what that dip is. And then when we recover from it, we're actually a little bit stronger, or we should be. And then again, recovery. And so your fitness increases over time. Now, if this isn't happening for you every single week, if you're not able to do a little bit more every single week, then your program is not a good program, or you're doing the program improperly. Again, I just want to, I don't have a lot of time. I want to respect your feelings, of course, but I want to tell it to you straight, because I wish someone did that to me, did that for me, actually. If you're not making progress every week, look, I was looking at all these complicated workouts and all this fancy stuff. And now what I do, okay, am I doing more than what I did last week? Yes or no? Because if I'm not, and I want to change my body, then that's what needs to happen. So ask yourself that. And if you don't do this and you keep the same weight for the same sets and reps, or go to the same class and they're changing the class all the time and it's so much fun, you're going to be looking exactly the same. This isn't about also how much you sweat. Doesn't matter. How about I'm so exhausted after my workout? Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this. Were you able to do more than what you did last week? And the answer is no. None of that other stuff matters. And if you want to grow your glutes, there's no toning muscle. If you want to grow your glutes, or if you want stronger shoulders or more defined arms, you got to grow the muscle, and you need to increase the volume over time to make that happen. This is so simple, folks, so simple. And just people miss this. So if you apply this, it's going to change the game for you. And if you get this right, you're going to see results faster than you ever thought possible. Now, you may say, oh, but I don't want to gain muscle. Okay, but do you want to tone your glutes? Yeah, my glutes are flabby. Okay, then you need to build muscle. There's no such thing as toning. You build a muscle by exercise, or you let it shrink by being sedentary. You put on fat when you eat too many calories. You lose fat when you create a calorie deficit. That's how it works. All right. And here's a case study. Sarah, 40, director of operations, single mother of 2, former athlete who gained a lot of weight after a family tragedy and an injury. And when she was trying to get back into it, she was following a restrictive diet and working out so intensely, she was literally getting injured every single week. This led to her stopping her workouts to heal her injuries, but also she got depressed about her injuries and started eating again. I mean, I've been in a situation like this because some of the silly workouts I used to do. And she was really in a bad place. And then I was like, you don't need to work out and hurt yourself. There's no special exercise. There's no exercise that you need to do. Oh, squats hurts my foot. Don't need to do them. Okay. Oh, running hurts my knees. Don't need to do it. There's all you need to do is find the exercises that work, combine them with the right approach in terms of progressive overload, along with the right nutrition principles. And Sarah lost over 100 pounds in a year. She started dating again. And not only did this change her body, I mean, look at the difference in the way she looks, but she's now married. This guy wanted to date her before, but she didn't even want to go out on a date with him because she felt like she didn't feel happy with herself. And after taking action and changing herself like this, she's now got that life that she wanted. She's back in a relationship. She just got married a couple years ago. And this is what's possible when you do the right strategy, when you lose the guilt, when you stop beating yourself up for falling off the wagon, when the wagon was busted to begin with because you were doing keto, intermittent fasting, or doing some workout, crazy high intensity routine that was injuring you. This is what's possible when you do the right approach. Tip number 4, there's no perfect time. It doesn't exist. You know, if you're an A player and you want to get in shape, but you haven't achieved it, why? The best time to start anything was not just yesterday, it was probably 10 years ago. Here's the thing about habits that most people don't know. Habits are neural connections in our brain. And the longer you've had a habit, or the higher the emotions, the more intense the emotions that were there when you started the habit, the harder it is to break it. And it's a cycle. We know from smoking cessation studies that it takes 4 times for a smoker to finally quit. And the point is this: You need to keep going. You need to work through the tough times to finally crush the habit, to replace the bad habit with the habit that you want. And it's uncomfortable to do it. And that's why we say it's not the right time. It's uncomfortable to do it. But the truth is, the longer you do it, the harder it gets to change. Now, it might change when someone dies, right? From a heart or health problem, rather. And you're like, oh my gosh, I need to take care of my health. I feel like, my blood sugar's high. If I don't do something, I'm going to die of diabetes complications too. But do you really want to wait for that? Because that's not a smart strategy. If you have kids, that's going to cost them. They're going to watch you suffer. I know because I watched my dad go that route. He didn't have diabetes. He had other problems. And it leaves a deep scar, leaves a deep wound. And if you say that you're doing everything for your children, but you're not taking care of yourself, then you're really not, And I say this not to be mean to you, but because I'm so passionate, I'm giving you a dose of reality here because I want you to have the life that you want. I want you to feel amazing about yourself because I know it's possible for every single person, and that includes you too. So the old way is to wait around for New Year's. We have data on it. Most people give up their New Year's resolutions, get back on track after vacation. Oh, tomorrow I'll work out hard and make up for all the days this week I couldn't go to the gym. Or you'll put your job, your kids, your partner first, because that's what you do. You sacrifice. That's what women are supposed to do. But this is stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. And the only way to break it is to change your habits and work through the discomfort until those old habits, they just fade away, because nobody's coming to save you. No one's going to work out for you. Nobody's going to say, hey, you need to take time in your life for yourself. Nobody's going to do it. You've got to do it. You've got to step up your game. And you've got to commit to always doing something. You need more flexibility, most likely. If you fall off the wagon, you need more flexibility. The all or nothing mindset, oh, I can't do my 90-minute workout, so I guess I'll just not work out at all. Wrong way to go about it. So instead of working out hard to make up for missing workouts and being sore for a week after, find things that actually work. Fit things into your schedule. I've had clients who did 5-minute workouts and they still were losing body fat. 5-minute workouts. Now they did them every day, but they did 5-minute workouts. Consistency is what matters most. And I start to understand that the best way to show up for your kids, your partner, to crush it in your career or business is by making yourself a priority and taking care of your health, because your health and fitness form the foundation for success in every area of your life. Without it, you'll never have the energy and focus you need to be the person that you want to be, that you strive to be. And we can all have this. Here's Ashley. She's a high performer, always been a leader in and out of her workplace. But she was struggling with fat loss. She was working hard, but not making time for herself. She was taking care of her family, but putting herself last. And she knew a lot about nutrition, but was confused about what to do to get consistent results. And boom, I showed Ashley how to spend less time in the gym while getting better results. I showed her all the things that we talked about today. In 100 days, Ashley dropped 19 pounds of fat, got into a shape where she was really happy with herself, and she feels more confident. She's having a better relationship with her husband and thriving in her career. This is what's possible when you do things the way I'm telling you, the way I'm showing you. This is what's possible for you. Shift number 5. If you've been struggling to do this on your own, especially for years or perhaps even decades, time to get some help. Time to consider investing in mentoring. And I want to ask you, are you satisfied with your current results? If the answer is yes, then you wouldn't be here. If the answer is no, well, how long have you been doing it? How long have you been trying on your own? Because the truth is, behind every great success is a coach. All those athletes that you, maybe look up to. I don't know if you're into sports. I'm not into sports that much, but I still appreciate successful people. And successful people get help from other people who are better than them at whatever they're trying to excel in, or have experience that they don't have. And listen, I've been through this. I've hired coaches for my business. I've hired coaches when I was traveling a lot and I was struggling to get into a super lean shape that you see in that photo that was taken in Bangkok, Thailand, by the way, before the crazy coronavirus craziness happened. And I hired a coach to help me. because I needed the accountability. I needed help with like, okay, well, I'm eating all these foods. I don't even know what the names of them are. I can't even spell them. They're not even right. Like in Thailand, so many foods. And then I was finding myself in Bali and then in Malaysia and Hong Kong and now in Mexico. But before that, Brazil, I was in so many places. This is the shortcut that you're looking for. And traits of a great coach, they provide expert advice in a step-by-step system. They know what to do. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's like, well, you got to do this. It's step-by-step. They walk the talk. They're not teaching you to do something that they don't actually do. Everything that I told you here, I actually do. They provide no BS and accountability. Accountability is so important, especially to get you clear when you're feeling a bit stressed or to help you work through when the habit changes get uncomfortable. Also shares the same core values. Look, I don't want this to be your life. I want this to be a part of your life that you do because you know it improves the quality of your relationships, of the things that you really care about. This is something that we do not, look, if you enjoy exercise, great, but we do it because it improves other areas of our life. So those are my core values. That's what I believe. Instills belief and raises standards. Our standards are so low in our society with our health and with what we can accomplish in life. And hopefully I've instilled some belief in you, but that's what great coaches do. And look, this is Kim, high performer, struggles with a routine between being a mother, a wife, and a career woman, focused over the last 20 years on building her family and career. Like many women, Kim copes with everyday stress, frustration, and guilt by overeating and drinking. Angry plus lonely equals ice cream. Stressed equals chocolate. Bored and cookies equal guilt. On top of that, Kim felt embarrassed because she couldn't engage in her kids' activities because of her size and lack of energy. It was killing her inside. And she decided it was time to invest in herself and was worthy of placing herself as the priority. And she made a major change in 3 months. She lost 41 pounds. And I want to show you. Now, look, she was, as you can see, she had quite a bit to lose. So that's why the number is so high. It's not normal to lose 41 pounds in 3 months. It's one of the best transformations we've had. But she changed the game for herself. And she doesn't just look better. She feels better. She feels like a different person. You can even see the hair is like done in a different way. And she just looks and feels fantastic. This is what's possible when we do the right strategies, when we have the right person helping us through this journey. If we're struggling alone, this is what's possible. Okay. All these women, all these incredible women that I've shared with you today, this is what's possible. So look, why reinvent the wheel? I've made all the mistakes. I've injured myself badly trying to work out twice a day to burn fat. It doesn't work. Okay. I've helped people through their struggles. I've had people who have the same challenges as you. I've seen it all. And I want to ask you, what's your time worth? Do you want to waste another year or 10 trying it out on your own? It's up to you. And most people look the same after a year, even after investing thousands of dollars. And the truth is, there's so much confusing information out there. It's going to take you years to figure it out if you ever do. And most of us will never figure it out. It's just my job to. It's not that I'm so smart, by the way. It's my job to figure it out. I'm sure you have a job where you figured out things, or a business where you figured out things that other people are just like, wow, I can't believe you figured it out. But it's my job to. But in other ways, I've invested $25,000 on training and mentoring, and every time it was a big decision. And most of that was for business because I'm like I told you, I got a degree in biology. I'm a bio nerd, but I needed help with business and how to help my clients more and what do I need to do for them business wise and all that type of stuff. So look, all these investments pay for themselves. Don't do it alone. Find the best mentor out there and spend what it takes to work with them. It's the only shortcut that exists. All right, that was it. So step 1, escape the quick fix trap. Now, step number 2, master the right nutrition principles. Step number 3, use a secret weapon. Step number 4, don't wait for the perfect time. Doesn't exist. Step number 5, if you're doing this on your own and you've been doing it for a long time, maybe time to invest in getting some help. And if you do these 5 shifts, that's going to be enough to get the body you've always wanted and to live that extraordinary life. So now you have a choice. Now it's time for that invitation. If you've resonated here, here's how I can help you. My team and I have set aside some time in the next 72 hours to speak to you about how you can apply these techniques today and get immediate results in your life. The cost of the call is free. We don't charge you, don't need your credit card, nothing like that. Whatever your biggest challenges are, your busy calendar, state of your health, low energy, slow metabolism, whatever you think you're dealing with, I've seen it all and know how to shift you past it. You must be fully open to changing your current approach and possess the courage to embrace a faster and smarter way to transform your health, body, and life. This isn't for everybody. You must be sick and tired of being out of shape and ready to do something about it now. If this is a nice to have or you still don't believe you can do it, it's not for you. This is for people who are go-getters, who take action. And if this is you, I want you to book a session right away. And on the call, I'll help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your body, health, and lifestyle to look like, as well as the exact steps you should take to becoming leaner, sexier, and healthier faster than you ever thought possible. And if you want us to help you, and we think it's also a good fit, we may invite you to be part of our coaching program. And we'll put you through the same program we put our most successful clients through, every single one. Kim, Ashley, all the people you've seen today, Deanne, all the people you've seen today. The curriculum is designed to get you the body and the health you've always wanted, no matter your age, busy lifestyle, or how many times you tried to fail in the past. But we'll be expecting you to make the progress that you've seen, similar results within 12 weeks. And so if you resonate with this, don't say you'll book this call later. You know you won't. You know you're going to get busy. If you resonate with this, if you really feel a strong connection here, click the link, book the call. If you're a person who is interested in getting coaching and you're looking for the right coach, let's have a conversation. If you've already tried coaching, you know it works for you. You're just looking for the right one because there's so many options out there and you don't know who to believe and who has the goods. Let's hop on a call. No pressure. We can feel each other out, see if it's good. And if we decide that it's a good fit, we can both move forward. If not, we can still remain friends. It's no problem. I'm only looking for people who are a good fit. So again, if that resonates with you, if you resonate with what you've seen today, if you want to give this a try, book the call. legendarylifeprogram.com/apply. Spaces are limited and I take even less people in my coaching program. So that's what it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed today's program. And even more importantly, I hope you take what you learned and put it into action in your life. And if you're a person who resonated strongly and you know that invest in mentoring shift, you're like, man, I'm tired of doing this on my own and getting these results and not really having this figured out, book that call. Let's hop on a call, let's talk, and let's work through it together.